It is Chanel Renee, and I wanted to go over what it means to be covered by a real man of God. What does that look like? And it's in the Bible, purest form. It's Ruth chapter 3. It starts at verse 8 and ends at verse 14. And it is, of course, one of the most controversial stories in the Bible where Ruth comes to Boaz's chambers in the I believe it was at midnight, and uncovers his feet and lays at his feet. And a lot of people believe that she may have had sex with him and all of these other things. I don't believe that at all. Because of the conversation that they had and because of the type of man Boaz was, I don't believe he would have allowed that to even happen. So let's go over that, as well as covering. The biggest thing I want to talk about is what it looks like when a man of God covers you. What in the world does that look like, and how should it look in today's age? So the first thing that I noticed when I'm reading this specific story is she enters into the chambers and Boaz is like, whoa, who is that? Who is here in the middle of the night? And she identifies herself. She's like, oh, it's Ruth. And he's like, oh, you're the blessed one. And he starts literally saying this amazing prayer over her and encouraging her and just calling her all of these amazing things right after she identifies herself. So he knew who she was, but he also knew that she was blessed because of the way that she presented herself and things of that nature. And he's like, oh, you're the blessed woman of God, and you're the daughter of the Most High King, like all of these amazing things. So a way that you know is the way that they speak about you. A man can cover you with his mouth. A man can cover you with the prayers that he says over you, with the things that he says to you. So that's the first way. The second is what happens is she basically is letting him know that I am available to be a wife to you. And he lets her know, okay, I already can provide for you. I have everything that is necessary to make sure that your life is better off with me. So provision is the second way. Now, let's be clear. That does not mean that I don't think we should expect a man to come in and do more than what our Father would do for us. That means there's a standard of living where you have shelter, you have food, you have clothes, and you have the necessities. That's where that goes. So if you're thinking like, oh, he's supposed to come in and I'm supposed to be, I'm supposed to be better in terms of, not just your living situation, but like he's supposed to buy you a Porsche and buy you all these clothes and all this. That's not in here. That's not in here at all. Now, is it great if a man of God can do that? Of course, but we should not be holding them to a standard that is going to cause them to be broke. If you can afford Applebee's, great. That's a standard of living because you fed me. But if you can afford Ruth Chris, that's great too. Do we want to go from Applebee's to Ruth Chris? Yes. But it's okay if we start at Applebee's. Don't expect to start at Ruth Chris. That's not appropriate to say, or to think, well, I was at Ruth Chris anyway by myself, so he should be doing A, B, C, and D. You have to talk to God about that one. But there is a bare necessity of provision that a man is supposed to provide to you when he is taking you as his wife. So keep that in mind. And the third way that we are covered or should be covered by a man is our reputation. So here's the controversial part. I don't believe in any way that Ruth had sex with this man. This man, literally, and I'm going to get to that part in a minute, was like, whoa, I can't really marry you yet because there's somebody who's next in line. He didn't even want to have a full conversation with her until he knew what he could do. So what makes people think that he was okay with her having sex with him? Why he was not okay with having sex with another man's possible wife? That was not how Boaz rolled. He was a man of integrity and character. So he covered her reputation. There was a part where she's like, okay, cool, we talked. I'm going to go. And he says, no, you're not going anywhere. I need you to stay here for the night and just lay in next to me, because a woman should not be here at this time. This is not going to look good on your reputation, right? So he covered her reputation, meaning in modern day times, you are going to have times where you might mess up in life. And it would be terrible for that man of God to go out and ruin your reputation. Oh, well, she did, da da da, or you know, just stuff like that, running you down. Or, maybe you have a weak moment and you initiate sex with the man of God you're dating or something of that nature, right? And he tells you no. He's covering your reputation. And not only will he cover your reputation, but he will make sure that after that moment has passed, he doesn't bring it back up again in a negative way or use it against you. Or yes, if you are already married, if you, I don't know, maybe you don't cook too well or something like that, he's not going to mess up your reputation of being a good wife by always telling people, well, I mean, she cool, but she can't really cook. He's not going to do that. He's a man of making sure that your reputation is covered as well. And the fourth way is he'll cover you by the security of the relationship. Boaz did not leave her guessing or wondering what was going to happen. Who am I to you? He told her, look, and Naomi confirmed it. He's going to figure this out before the end of the day. Watch. He told her, I would love to be able to take you on as my wife. I can provide for you this, that, and the third, all of that. However, there is somebody who is next in line, who's next of kin. I can't just come in and do this. I have to make sure that I speak with this person first. So, and I'm going to make sure that I get back to you once I know. That is amazing. She didn't leave thinking, oh, did I do something wrong? Does he actually like me? Does he trust me? Does all of that? There was none of that going on in her mind. And I think that's one of the biggest things that a woman looks for is the security of the relationship. I don't want to have to ask you what we're doing. I don't want to have to ask you what your intention is with me. I don't want to have to ask you, do you care? I expect you to let me know so that I know how to move forward from here. And he did that with her. And here's what I love, because sometimes you're not going to know the answer. Sometimes you're not going to get the answer that you want to hear right away. Sometimes a man of God is not sure. But he said that. He said, I'm not sure if I can take you on right now. Let me figure this out. And that's okay too. It's okay to not know, but at least have the conversation, at least he covered her with the security of the relationship and her knowing what to expect as they moved forward, or what to expect within the next few hours, the next few days, the next few months. He didn't leave her guessing. So those are the 4 points that I have when it comes to covering based off of Ruth chapter 3, verses 8 through 14. I will go over them briefly. He covered her with his words. He covered her with her reputation and maintaining that reputation. He also covered with provision and knowing that he could provide a standard of living that she was not only already accustomed to, but he could actually do greater. That's not a requirement, but at least provide that standard of living of the necessities of life. And then the other one is he covered her with that security of the relationship. She knew who he was to her, or who she could possibly be to him, depending on the answer she got. But there was no guessing. There was no trying to figure it out. There was no, oh, I was up all night just because I'm not sure, or I didn't want to ask you this, but can you just let me know what we're doing? Because none of that happened. So I hope that this was helpful to you. And I pray that you guys, despite everything going on, you are still doing well in these times, and that you remain confident that you will see the blessings of the Lord. Like, remain confident in that. No matter what, that you will see the good of the Lord in the land of the living. Stay confident in that.